You've come to the right place if you're a course creator looking to build more impact, income, and freedom. LMScast is the #1 podcast for course creators just like you. I'm your guide, Chris Badgett. I'm the co-founder of the most powerful tool for building, selling, and protecting engaging online courses called LifterLMS. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome back to another episode of LMScast. I'm joined by a special guest, Spencer Foreman. He's highly caffeinated and ready to roll. So this is going to be a good conversation. Spencer is an advisor to WP Fusion, which is a great tool we use actually at Lifter to connect our courses to our CRM, which happens to be ActiveCampaign. We moved over from Infusionsoft about 4 years ago to ActiveCampaign. But anyways, Spencer has a lot of experience with marketing automation. He's been around the tech industry for a while. He's an entrepreneur, clicks and bricks. He's done offline entrepreneurship, real estate stuff. He's done, software stuff, training stuff. He's all over the map. He adapts quickly. He evolves with the industry. He notices trends and opportunities. So there's a lot we're going to talk about in this. His project now is called WP Automation Lab. And just to get the user oriented, where does WordPress sit? So like people watching this or listening to this podcast, for WordPress and online courses or an LMS or membership site, WordPress is like kind of this hub, this website thing, but you don't want WordPress to be your CRM, your marketing automation tool. There's like, it's almost like which is a satellite of what and what sits in the middle between those things?
Yeah, by the way, great introduction. Thank you. And that's an awesome question to start with, because what I am doing now primarily is to try to use visual metaphors, and I test them out on all the people who are contacting me about doing marketing automation for WordPress. And the metaphor that I think is working really well, creates a nice visual picture, is like this. Imagine the WordPress ecosystem is like planet Earth. And each and every one of the essential plugins that people need for a membership site or an e-commerce site, because that's primarily what people want to do with this, is maybe a separate country, has their own government, has their own way of doing things, has its own hierarchy. In the original days of WordPress, there weren't countries, but there was just some things. Then as countries developed, well, you have each of these plugins, right? You've got your e-commerce plugin. You've got your gateway that connects to it. You've got something maybe separately for memberships. You've got something maybe for LMS, gamification, social networking. And they all work sort of in harmony as long as they've got an ambassador. This works with WooCommerce. This works with this. And so you have, like you guys do, an ecosystem of, well, if you only want to use our thing, that's fine. We have all the different components that'll make it possible to do subscription and take money for LifterLMS. But now imagine the world's a very complicated place. You've got the other world in space, which is the ecosystem of CRMs. And by the way, I think my landscaper took the opportune moment to cut the grass today. So
I can't hear it.
You can't hear it? Okay, good. So
just to be clear, CRM stands for?
Let's define it. Okay, because this is another topic. I'm going to come back to this, but for the moment, I'm going to say CRM, but it could be also a marketing automation platform, or it could be what was traditionally known as an email marketing system, but now with more, and we'll come to it. But just that world of being able to put people on a list and then do something, primarily using tags and fields. That's out in space. What WP Fusion does, which is so exciting, because this is what makes marketing automation for WordPress possible and just changes the game. If you have a CRM that uses tags and fields, WP Fusion allows that CRM to now talk to your WordPress site, all those different countries, and explains to them, or they explain to it up and down, what we're doing with the particular user, right? Johnny joins through WooCommerce by buying a product. He gets a tag, sends it to the CRM. CRM says, I have an automation for that. Give Johnny a tag of member. Now Johnny has a tag of member. He can get into the LMS and he gets a badge for joining as a member, and he can also participate in the social network. And all of this back and forth is now controlled in one place. The user's behavior on the website or via email automation or on-screen notification or even text messages is all triggered by that satellite. I'm imagining some Dr. Evil from, the movies, like looking at the screen going, let's do this. Because the goal of marketing automation for WordPress is to give each new user, new prospect in your sales funnel a higher than likely chance of converting into a buyer because you've given them a unique and personalized journey instead of exposing them to the same crazy stuff, right? And we know what that's like from retargeting, where if you got kids, you visited a diaper website, you know that for the next 2 weeks, everything on all your browser windows is going to be diapers. Well, imagine that experience in a good way that you control on your WordPress site. Somebody comes in and they want your one product and not the other. You can craft the entire user experience for them based upon just that kind of interest. The debate we're having, you and I, before the show started was, some people call it marketing automation platform because a CRM is what you use, for managing relationships, customer relationship management. But that's not all that you need. You also need an email marketing component, and you most importantly need to have the ability with those tags and fields to do things that give and add tags or give and add custom field data. Those three things together are what I really call a CRM or a marketing automation platform. And there's dozens of them. There's probably right now over 17 of them. Probably 3 or 4 are the ones that everybody focuses on, which...
Yeah. One of the new things, or it's the WP Fusion release that really interests me, and maybe this even further complicates the problem of the right word for what these CRMs or email marketing tools are, is personalization through page builders. So you can display content conditionally based on what tags they have or don't have. And I find that
super close, that part.
I find that very interesting, but that's not even like, if we're on the website, if we're selling a course or a membership, it's marketing personalization. But if they're already in the course and, the lesson content is adapting based on the tags they have, that's another kind of, that's not marketing. That's just like learning personalization. So personalization is a factor here, and it's not always just about marketing.
I mean, you bring up a good point because of your plugin in particular, right? So we've actually used your competitors, and I'll say one of them is LearnDash. Your product in particular is super suited for what this can really do for you, because let's use the metaphor of organization. I usually explain to people in our training, in our course, that an LMS is effectively like having your own personal librarian for your content. So if you have more than a few lessons, it's going to get unwieldy to organize it with pages or even a special custom post type, because you still have to do navigation and all the accessories. So having this LMS, like LifterLMS, means I can put in things into lessons. Plus, I love your page builder because I can sort of outline the course in advance with the page builder. Here's a section, here's some lessons, here's a section, here's some lessons. I put stuff into lessons. Now, if you wanted to do so, you could use the tags that somebody obtains by buying something or by doing something else as an on-off, I can see this lesson or not. It's awesome, except it gets kind of busy because if you have 20 lessons, it's like every lesson I got which tag to use. So step up to the next level. Courses. Now, course is a super awesome way to organize stuff natively in LifterLMS because it triggers some other cool things that you provide. For example, the courses allow me to have a display page for logged in buyers or participants of this course or not. It gives me the ability to individually display a special video or not. It triggers the ability to see free lessons because if I flip that little toggle switch, the lessons are just free even if the course is protected, right? So I could use the tag at the course level. That would be super if I only had one course because, okay, hey, one course is sort of the same as buying one product or one membership. But take it up another level. Let's say I'm planning on making lots of courses with LifterLMS, and I want to give one tag that gives somebody at certain membership level access to any of the courses related to them. No problem. I go in LifterLMS, and I go up to the next level of membership. Now, even though it's true in the old world, before connecting my satellite, I could sell that membership using WooCommerce connectivity or using some other means or even natively with Stripe Gateway. I could also just use that tag that was given to the CRM at the member level. And I say, if somebody has this tag, they're member, I don't know, pro. And then I just assign the courses that say, if you're a pro member, you get to see this course, that course, the other. So each step as I go up, I'm using the LMS, but I'm triggering it on golden ticket, like Willy Wonka. Do I have the tag of I can see this stuff? And that's the thing that, like, when people hear that, they go, holy crap, like, where was this my whole life? Because before, you would have had to make one of the plugins the big boss of your whole ecosystem, right? Who's the head honcho of this planet, right? Is it going to be your membership plugin, or is it going to be your e-commerce plugin, or your BuddyPress? I mean, which one? And they're all fighting and having wars. Now it's like your satellite is the boss and the tag is the golden ticket. And if they get a tag for whatever reason, it's used, as you say, for not only just marketing, but it's for access. Unbelievably cool.
Yeah, that is super cool. And another reason I've seen people use WP Fusion is they're selling somewhere else, which is like, okay, wherever that is, if they integrate with a CRM or WooCommerce, whatever, like that tag can go up to the satellite and then zap down. So it just increases, it allows so much flexibility. Like things can happen in lots of different ways. I want to ask you though, like, I see a lot of like confusion in the marketplace, or people that just aren't that experienced with automation, personalization, segmentation. How do you help people with the confusion, or just quite frankly, a lack of experience with these kinds of concepts, find success and take advantage of the opportunity?
One of the things that I want to bring up, which is the difference between marketing automation and all the other soft skills and services. And this is not to say they're better or worse. It's just an evolution, right? I mean, at the turn of the century, 1890s to 1910, I'm sure a lot of horse and buggy repairmen and wagon wheel makers were a little off put by what's coming next. There was a term called a Luddite, because these people who rallied against the machinery taking over their jobs in the factories. So in that sense, there is this sort of lots of other stuff that used to feel important, like how high do I rank on Google with SEO? Or, what am I using to drive social traffic? All that's fine. We don't talk about it. What marketing automation concerns itself with exclusively, top of your sales funnel to the bottom for new prospects. How many more people can you give a personalized experience to so they feel that you really understand their needs and wants and their pain and you're solving it? And then inside of the site, how do you manage the user experience the same way, right? Why expose your pro members to the beginning training stuff, or your beginning training stuff users to the stuff that's over their head? You can make everybody feel like you're just dealing right with them personally, that you know them special. And that makes everybody endear themselves and vice versa to you. So in terms of like what we try to explain, we say, look, the simplest level, you can just go and learn all this stuff yourself. Do it for free. I mean, this is out there, but a lot of people don't like to make food from scratch. At the other extreme, WP Launchify, we just say, we've got a TV dinner for you, because everybody of the 20,000 plus people we've helped over the last decade has the same exact thing. You are a snowflake, but we've had a lot of snow in the past. Okay. So the same stack of stuff we can set up for you, like turnkey, give you a newly remodeled kitchen. We usually charge like $2,500. But it's not web design. It's whatever your design is, it's fine. It's the stack of stuff, membership and so forth. And then most people stay on with us to have us teach them how to cook with their new convection oven and stuff, because they never knew how. And some of them stay on as retainer clients, but that's a service that to me has proven itself valuable. We've had a very high number of people convert because they realize, like, look, I just want to get to the result because I can see immediately in my dashboard, more people are buying my thing and my thing sells for $1,000. So like 2 more sales a month and boom, you're paid for it. The middle ground is where this WP Automation Lab ideas come about, because it's what we used to do with First Web Designer and also 1WDTV. It's to teach people who are in the WordPress ecosystem, or in the CRM ecosystem, by the way, including Confusionsoft consultants, that there's a new sheriff in town. WP Fusion is connected the CRM to the WordPress ecosystem. Now, things are possible with no coding at all that weren't possible before. So we explain to people, and we have a course. By the time this is out, it'll be out there. Very economical, a few $100. which will make you thousands of dollars, just like we charge. Because when you go to a company that has any kind of a WordPress website, you can now show them and explain to them the same things that we're finding in truth, which is everybody needs an e-commerce or a membership online site with WordPress. You set up the stack. Simple things like there is a table we give in the course and we teach and talk about for free, where you lay out your tags. Because you're doing WP Fusion or using it, the tags are all semantical. In other words, they are literally the fields that exist now because WP Fusion is connected. For example, in WooCommerce, if you have a product, if it's a simple product, there's 2 tag fields that become available that you can, customize. What is the tag somebody gets if they purchase this thing? What is the tag they get if they refund this thing? That purchase tag, when it's sent up to the CRM, triggers an automation that we teach you how to do that's then giving them that golden ticket tag. You're now a pro member. So buy the pro member product, CRM says you got the pro member golden ticket. If you refund it, oh, I'm sorry, we're going to take that golden ticket away. Same is true for other stuff. Like subscriptions give you a tag field for canceled or expired or on hold. The LifterLMS, if they enroll in this course, if they unenroll in this course, if they complete this course, right? All of those are semantical tags, product name, and then whatever it's doing. And when you have those tags, like a kid with Lego blocks, you can assemble these, let's do this really cool thing. And when we explain it one time, it's just like with my boys when they're younger. It's like all of a sudden their eyes light up and they go, it can't be this easy, right? And we're like, yeah, it's this easy. Like, really? It's this easy? I'm like, yes, it's this easy. Because it's just like, I have an iPhone. I remember when I was a contractor and I built houses, we used to have like Nextel phones, and then there was like a the Nokia, and then there was the Trios and Black. Everybody had a different phone with a different connector and all this stuff. Now everybody has some kind of universal serial bus connector, USB. I could go anywhere on the planet and connect my phone, as long as I have this proprietary thing, but you know what I mean, the other end, universally. And tags and custom fields, in my prediction, will be the universal serial bus for everything between the CRM ecosystem, the SaaS platforms, and WordPress. Because once they can all just use tags and fields, so many things are possible without regard to APIs or other nonsense.
For the beginner, how do you explain the difference between a tag and a custom field?
A tag is an on-off switch. I happen to have one right here in my lovely dining room. A tag is an on-off switch. Custom field, which doesn't exist for all CRMs, and it certainly doesn't exist in all cases, and it's not as important, is a descriptor. So for example, purchased a product in WooCommerce. That's a tag. It's a yes or no. It's an on or off. Did they purchase? Did they not? It's there or it isn't. A descriptor would be, they purchased the Pro product on December 2nd for $1,200. That's a potential custom field. Custom fields data can be accumulated and used in formulas. So for example, some CRMs allow you to calculate lifetime value. So if a person is, again, being controlled by the CRM and they do a bunch of things and take a bunch of actions that also are selling and giving descriptors, you can now say, this person has $2,000 lifetime value, trigger a new automation. Change their homepage to, like fireworks going off and a huge banner from gamification says, you're so awesome that we're giving you free access to our LifterLMS course of blankety blank. And you can put an on-screen notification. You can send them a text to bug their husband or wife. And you can also, send an email too. Whatever you please. The responses are those. The WordPress website dynamicism, if that's a word, is adjustable. But then when you want to go back and figure out what's going on, all the data is right there in one dashboard in the CRM.
Let's talk about some news that just came out that I think MailChimp is adding tags.
Right.
What's your take on that? Because for a long time they were the beginners, email lists. They had a little bit of automation you could put in there, but they've been around for a long time. They also had a great free plan for people to get started.
Still do, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take credit for this one. Not that they did it, but rather I know, because we both know Jack, and I saw this came through my MailChimp email. I'm subscribed to their list because I have clients on there. I said, Jack, this is amazing. And my take is really simple. MailChimp is the original version. And, you can think of Aweber, Constant Contact. There's a lot of old dinosaurs that are amazing, because they did the original one-way marketing automation through email. And it's one way because sure, you can add somebody the old way from your WordPress website to MailChimp, but then all the automation is just in MailChimp to send out more emails or maybe keep track of some stuff, but it doesn't have that like control this ecosystem or not. And I think people don't realize, you know, on their own, what's the difference until we have this kind of like me all caffeinated version of the story and they go like, holy cow. So what I said to Jack, and I'll say it here again, is game changer. They have such a gigantic user base. All of these people start out like I do with my clients. Use MailChimp. It's free. The API is there. The training. It's so easy. Plus, they do have some reasonably powerful, not, you know, like not level of Entreport, but reasonably powerful automation. The idea is if they really integrate this properly and then Jack connects it as he will, that's what I will recommend to people, because for baby steps like doing an online e-commerce or membership site, you do not need anywhere near all of the power of ActiveCampaign, Entreport, or even Drip. You just need MailChimp, and it'll be free for your first 2,000 users. So immediately you're saving $49 to $129 a month. And it's just like so easy to get started that for everybody, you know, you can, as a consultant, you can advise your users, look, here's the list of your total costs for this project. And all it'll be, you know, your whatever you're using, you know, as an extension to WooCommerce, probably you'll use WooCommerce subscriptions. You'll probably want to get like the add-ons for LifterLMS, but then ta-da, it's like your web hosting costs and then buying WP Fusion. And for a few $100, like you've got a system that would have cost you tens of thousands of dollars before. And that's just incredible. So I think that this is in line with the prediction I was making earlier, which was you would be foolish to act like Infusionsoft. You would be smart as hell as a company to act like MailChimp. MailChimp, it seems, realizes that if we don't get into the real, you know, true CRM marketing automation game, everybody's going to leave us because these other 15 to 17 companies are battling it out. And I feel bad. I actually wrote to him, and he didn't respond because I'm a nobody, but I wrote to Clay Mask because I heard him on another podcast talking about their strategy. And I think their mistake right now, and I don't hope he calls me back, is they're going after trying to be like Salesforce. And I think that's a huge mistake because Salesforce is a very hands-on, high-ticket corporate enterprise level sales tool. Like if you're going to have to make 40 phone calls to sell a $2 million project or something. The rest of those 19.5 million WordPress sites are for people that are selling, you know, like online training, online courses, even if it's a live event or high ticket, it's something they're kind of doing automatically. And they've been alienating a lot of their customers and they're kind of doing weird stuff. Whereas Drip, ActiveCampaign, Entreport, they're killing it. Like they're going head to head. Like who's going to go with us? You know, come on board, guys. And I think MailChimp recognizes we got to get in that game. Like we got to own that because we already have these people. They're going to leave us to go to them if we don't give them what they need, which is to be able to connect in this way. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I kind of have the like, dang, what took you so long feeling with MailChimp. I'm like, come on, like I'm glad they're doing it, but I'm like, they could have done that like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Everybody's reactionary, you know, but I mean, I will admit to this. The number one question that people say when I do these onboarding calls is, how long has WP Fusion been around? Mm-hmm. And I go, well, let's put it like this. Imagine that somebody had like the secret to never aging and they kept it in their garage buried because they thought that only scientists wanted to know about it. Well, that's kind of like what Jack was doing. He had this thing for over a year now. It's been since 2016, early 17. But he was just addressing it to like the developer mindset and not the marketer mindset. And so now that it's cat out of the bag, good on him and good on everybody else. But this is the kind of thing that, you know, you have to be sometimes pulling these other companies into the fray because they just don't know what goes on. And that's why I love to be in the space too, because every day there's something new and cool. And
yeah,
I think
it's changing fast. And I'm a futurist like you. I'm also an opportunity spotter. And you know, back even before LifterLMS started, we actually used to do a lot of custom web development for clients in the Infusionsoft space. So some of the stuff that we would build to like, you know, we're going to integrate this thing and we're going to apply a tag here and then this campaign will start. It was so just resource intensive, time intensive, developer intensive to like pull that kind of stuff off. But now, like when I first saw WP Fusion, it was kind of like that. Oh, finally, like
Right.
this is cool. And I just had that experience. But in terms of uh, you as a futurist, you as an opportunity spotter, um, the game, like the target moves or it changes or what's important changes. I'm all about. So let me give you a story from the LMS side, and then let me hear your reactions on the marketing automation or personalization side. I talk a lot about the stack. Like, what are we doing here? Is it a course plus what? Is it
Right.
coaching, community? Are you doing services? Are you doing like software? Are you doing physical products? Like the stack is becoming more and more important. For you and marketing automation, you're saying it's not about the website anymore. It's not about what theme you use. Being responsive and working on a mobile device are table stakes. That's not a differentiator.
Right.
SEO is like a pipe dream that isn't. I don't know.
Unless you have a lot of advertising dollars, SEO is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is if you can buy your way onto the front page. But even then, it's like, okay, well, just compare the cost of that for how much you're converting, and you can reasonably figure out if it's worth it. But just dreaming to be on page one for a keyword is like a huge waste of time.
That was the thing like 10 years ago, I guess.
When there was like one millionth of the number of websites. I mean, right now it's like a grain of sand on the beach. You know?
So it's website plus what? That's my question for you. Like, what is the stack?
I think that the stack starts and ends with, this is so retro because I'm an old man, I'm 51, but you know, I remember the days of building businesses with a pad of paper and a pencil.
Yeah.
All the old guys I used to love, you know, the Gary Halberton and the, you know, Joe Sugarmans and all those guys used to market would say the same thing. And it's true today.
About the offer?
No, about even deeper than that.
Yeah.
The whole secret to success online with your online WordPress membership site, or if you're a consultant, is to just to do or teach your client. There's only two things you need to know. Talk to people and find out what is their greatest pain, preferably a financial one, and then offer them a solution to that pain. Not features, but a benefit. Not even benefits, a benefit. Metaphorically, somebody walks into the Walgreens pharmacy and they've got the most splitting headache in the world. The product that will win will be the one that says, this helps your migraine now. Not like a picture of it, not like 20 different ingredients listed on, but just like big, bold, cure your migraine headache now, right? And so at the core of everything is to like, remember or learn for the first time that these are just tools, and that people get so enamored by the tools that they lose track. Most of my client consultations, the people that pay us to help them, I have to metaphorically, like, you know, cold water in their face, like, I'm like, who's your customer? What's their pain? What do you do to solve their pain? Can you say it in one sentence before I get off this elevator? And they go like, So that's the bottom line. And then what you do from there is the process. And the process really simply, in the old days, it was, I have a chance of getting noticed by this web search engine thing because it's now this new cool thing. People type a word and they'll find me. No, not anymore. SEO is fine. I can't argue it. One of our friends on the WP Tonic panel does SEO. SEO is an esoteric thing for companies that have advertising dollars, in my opinion, not for regular businesses. Regular businesses should think of it like going off to their favorite little fishing hole in the woods. And that's a group of people that you can identify, usually because they've got some other website or other Facebook group that has a similar set of problems or pains. And then you go talk to them for free and learn about them and help them and take notes about what's this thing that keeps coming up. And as soon as you realize that, you take TV dinner. We teach this. It's the same stack of stuff. It's a WordPress website, hopefully on a Google Cloud hosting. Again, that's another like democratized thing. It does not matter what hosting, just not, no offense, not a shared old-fashioned reseller on Bluehost or HostGator. Get on at least a cloud host account. Again, it costs dollars a month. Then you put in the stack. What takes the money? Stack is always, we say, WooCommerce if you're selling inside. Why? Because Automatic owns WooCommerce. WooCommerce connects to everything under the sun, and you'll never have to unplug it for it being weird, like some other products that are just very small groups. Then you put in If you needed a subscriptions plugin, again, the WooCommerce subscriptions plugin is probably the most logical choice. Your point earlier was true, though. You can now sell through Gumroad or sell on Stripe.com directly if you want and just trigger a tag in your CRM. It'll do the same thing. But having it inside of WordPress gives you an advantage because there's tools like Metoric, which is a great plugin.
We use it and love it.
Right, and Metoric gives you immediate, like, holy cow, cool analytics and dashboard of your actual WooCommerce sales. But the point is, WooCommerce is like the road to, you know, where everything connects to. Then you have your LMS, because as I mentioned, if you're selling online content and there's more than a couple things, you need a librarian to organize it. And of course, gamification, which you guys tightly integrate with, is awesome because high five, look at my badge, or high five, I did something awesome. I love, by the way, when you complete a lesson in LifterLMS, how it says, you just completed the lesson, you know, with the growl notification. That does encourage people when done in the right way. This stack is a TV dinner. The way we've been successful over the last decade is we figured out what everybody wants, and we listened and then built the fact that everybody needs the same thing. They just put a different logo on it and a different product. It's exactly the same.
Very cool. I just want to highlight what you said about the fundamental role.
Hold on, let me switch. I'm going to switch.
You're back. You're back. I'm
going to switch to my better network.
Okay. I just want to highlight something you said, which was the fundamental, like, this is the water in the face, like cold shower. Like, the fundamental job of the entrepreneur is not to build a business or master this technology, get this best tools. The fundamental role of the entrepreneur is to solve a problem for people that they can connect with. That's it.
The definition, if you really look it up and you get the, you know, I'm not saying there's all one definition. I believe that the proper definition of an entrepreneur is you find pain that you can solve and you take on the risk of solving that yourself for the financial reward. And then once you've solved that pain, you move on to the next thing. You're like the, you know, the journeyman plumber or something, or the, you know, you're just going town to town like the Incredible Hulk, David Banner or something. And it's just, but you don't, you know, very few entrepreneurs stick it out to the bitter end and build these huge companies. And when they do, it works out well, probably, but also not so great. Like, I was listening yesterday to the, totally aside, but like the GoPro story, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes entrepreneurs get beyond themselves when they stick around too long and it doesn't work out. But for a WordPress ecosystem, for sure, not only is that usable for the person who needs this solution, but it also applies to the consultants. And I want to bring Confusionsoft in here for a second. And I'm very particularly saying Confusionsoft because this is an example of a great company who I think has the opportunity to redeem itself, but is going to continue on a path that if they don't redeem themselves, will alienate themselves. Because, like dating, you can only get away with so much BS for so long before your boyfriend or girlfriend leaves you. Right now, they had the lead. Like, everybody in the CRM world was Infusionsoft, this and that, because of all these tools. The tools that work together were, you know, they just work, but barely. And so all these one-off solutions, like Band-Aids, came up. Again, nothing wrong with them, but like Membarium and Woo Infused and the Giphy forms and yada, 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 all this stuff to fix what's wrong with Infusionsoft. Well, that was fine back then, but now that you can connect the CRM, all these CRM consultants who are with their client bases, I feel their pain. We're solving their pain. We are going to make their lives great, because when you use WP Fusion to connect Confusionsoft to WordPress, the consultants can now have the magical answer that their clients have been waiting for forever. Let's keep the automation part of this. Let's prune your list down because they quadrupled or quintupled your pricing structure for keeping people on here. So we'll just keep the actual prospects on here and get everybody else off to, we'll put them on MailChimp or something. Let's use WooCommerce to sell the stuff with its cool forms and gravity. We'll do everything off of Infusionsoft, but we'll still keep Infusionsoft as your marketing engine. So now as the consultant, I can go to my clients because I'm WP Fusion certified for free. And I can now give you the solution you've been dreaming about without charging you for custom coding, without building a Frankenstein monster, without looking like a schmo that, sorry, this thing that I told you was so great isn't so great anymore. Now we got to move you and churn all your people over to another CRM.
In some ways, I just want to say you put the Chris of 5, 6 years ago out of business, because what I used to have to charge 10, 20, 30 more $1,000 to clients to build. Now you just get all that out of the way. And now let's actually focus on strategy and implementation. That's going to happen very quickly, which is good because that's innovation. I need to step up my game. I'm no longer, as a consultant, I'm not just this tech whiz bang guy. I'm focused on results for you. And now you just made it possible to integrate the tools.
I mean, the best words I can tell you from fact, I have a history. I was a trial attorney and a real estate developer and all these other companies throughout the years. When I was a kid, I had balloon businesses and aircraft detailing businesses. The best way to make a client loyal to you forever is the same way you do it in a relationship. I have not locked the door. The door is wide open. As long as I am the most awesome person in your life that you feel I am irreplaceable, we will be in a relationship. But I have not chained you inside of my cage. I have not baffled you with my bullshit. I have not forced you to take on some Frankenstein monster that you'll never undo without a lot of pain. So if you're in that predicament, just like I said in 2014, we had to legitimately close down 1WDTV as a freelance web designer training because we couldn't truthfully say to people, you can make a living building WordPress websites. That was nonsense. People could push a button and get a WordPress website that looked better than anybody could build from scratch in our community. However, in the automation CRM space, there's all this opportunity where now we can teach you. If you're going to use it, fine. If you're going to sell it, we can say, here's what you're selling. You're selling the architecting of the strategy of how all these Lego blocks go together. In the same way, I have a cabinet over here with all my, I have 3 boys. 1 billion Lego pieces. They've built some pretty cool stuff like this. But then you go to the mall, on the holidays, and there's it's like the Titanic. It's like 3/4 scale Titanic, or Empire State Building is like 1 trillion Lego blocks. You're like, holy mackerel, how did they build that on Lego blocks? It's because they were experts, okay? When a business needs help, you're going to help them as a consultant, not because the toys are so cool or the technology is not democratized or because I built something you can't get out of. You're going to help them because you go, I can give you the stack you need. You can see the results starting today. And as you need help to strategize how to learn how to build this next more complex thing, that's what I do. And you can stay as long as I perform, and we can measure the performance right there in your dashboard. Unlike SEO, which is spray and pray, or unlike traffic building, which is I hope you talk to the right people and maybe more people come or not. I mean, it's kind of measurable, but you got to spend money. With marketing automation, the people are there. You're just pouring the ping pong balls into your machine and you're measuring how many more per month come out with a $sign on it. So if I'm not making you more money than, you're earning, or, if I'm not, basically you're not paying my bill from the increase in profit, you don't have to pay me. Bye-bye. And it's amazing when you say it like that. As a consultant, it's who would say no to that?
I'm a huge believer in, results is results is what you should be selling, not just skill. So
it's hard. It's hard though for SEO. It's hard, because SEO is a spray and pray thing. They don't control if you show up on first page of Google. I mean, they do what they can following the rules that keep changing, but that's will a kid who takes piano lessons become the next, Beethoven or something? I don't know. But I can definitely teach a kid, how to do something tangible today with marketing automation, right? Can you open and close the front door? Can you push the microwave button on and off and make a hot dog for yourself? That's something I could teach a kid. I can't teach, a kid how to become a Beethoven without a lot of hoping and praying.
Yeah, this is next level stuff, Spencer. In the same way that WordPress kind of made it possible for people who weren't developers to build a website. And then page builders made it possible for anybody to build a great looking website. Now this is getting really exciting because especially for websites where the website's not just a marketing brochure site, but is the business, if it's a membership based, training based e-commerce thing, this is a whole other level of democratization that, you're providing a lot of value in.
I want to add one thing in here too, because I had the good fortune of, I'm an old guy. I've been around since the beginning of WordPress. And so I have a relationship, usually consultancy, but sometimes just sharing information with many of the bigger founders of WordPress services that now everybody enjoys and feels like it's been there forever. One of the guys I knew when he started was Clay over at Lead Pages, and they have a relationship with Drip, and they've been always like at the forefront of doing this stuff. But I want to bring up something because, in fairness, I think they recognize it too. So I'm not taking anything away from what they do. They have a platform, if you don't know about it, that is based on making landing pages.
Yeah.
And there's lots of other competitors in that space. But because of the page builders in WordPress, and it's so awesome, and now you get your CRM connected, in all fairness, something's going to be hitting the fan very soon there too, because just imagine, you don't need to be selling anything to take advantage of it. For example, we teach in our course, and we give lots of free training on this. You could take a beautiful landing page builder, Divi, Elementor, Beaver Builder, make a beautiful thing right out of the box. You put a gravity form in there that connects through WP Fusion to your CRM, and automatically when somebody gives their email, oh my God, what happens? They get added to the CRM. They get automatically registered to your website on WordPress. They get the credentials emailed. They get auto logged in. They get put into your LifterLMS free course. A badge comes on. An on-screen notification says you're awesome. It sends them a gift through the email that says, like, keep going, Rocco. Let's do this for free. Now, why do I need to pay for, no offense, Lead Pages anymore to do that? I've got WordPress in my CRM. So everybody knows what's up. The question is who's recognized it publicly or acknowledged it publicly. My job is to be I used to call myself the evil genius, or like, you're crazy, and it was our lab rats. Well, it's back, because really this is the kind of hair sticking up on the back of my neck kind of exciting stuff, where even if it's a free 501c3 charitable organization, you're taking no money. You can now directly, if you want to learn, take a course or get a consultant that we've taught this crazy stuff that otherwise would have taken years or tens of thousands of dollars, and you don't need to buy into a platform anymore unless the platform is doing something unique. For example, like Meteoric. Meteoric is this thing that's unique from any of the stuff I can do in WordPress, but it is an accessory to it. And I think that's where this ecosystem works. Like iPhones now have a bajillion cases you can get for them, and plugs and accessories. Well, first the phone, then the accessories. First marketing automation for WordPress. Now people can build all the accessories. And we really enjoy being thought leaders, because what people have always said they enjoy from us the most is it's complex for a business owner or a consultant to stay on top of all the new developments. And admittedly, because I'm like a kid with this stuff, as you can tell, whether I'm caffeinated or not, I always have enjoyed playing with the toys and then figuring out where people can use them to make money, and then sharing that with people, mostly for free. And then people pay me in various ways to also, get right to it. And I think this is the most exciting thing that I've seen happen in certainly the last 12 to 15 years. I mean, almost as exciting as when I first discovered WordPress. And it's just a great time. And you guys are really well positioned, because I'm going to give you an unexpected plug. We have objectively tested and tried your competitors. And there's lots of reasons that I love LifterLMS, but primarily because you built it as a core foundational WordPress plugin. It's not something that came from another ecosystem and then was sort of dropped in here. The page builder is awesome for creating stuff, because I use Google Docs and other ways to typically write long form. But then when I saw your organization for the builder, I was like, it'd be way easier. Let me just put my sections in as chapters, and then the lessons are as the sub chapters. And it's like, then I can just fill it in as I go, and then I don't have to reformat my Google stuff, and I can put the images natively. The actual layers I told, lessons, courses, but none of that fluffy stuff. Like, I don't know that anybody really needs group managers and all these other, just really focused. And so for that reason, I'm excited, because you guys have adopted, without my input, a model that lets people get into your product for free, which I think is the whole point. And once they get into it, it's like, holy crap, what else can I do with this? Get your accessory pack, get your add-ons. Maybe they don't need to have a separate, way to take the money. Maybe they want to do it natively. It's all good. And you guys obviously, I'm here, but you guys have been leaders in trying to teach people how to do things in a new way. And an LMS really seems essential unless you already know how to do something like this on your own. And it'd be a waste of time to go bother, because it's your primary focus.
Well, thank you for the kind words.
No problem.
Spencer Foreman, WP Automation Lab. I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm a big picture thinker myself, futurist. One of my favorite words is integration. And this conversation here and these trends that we're seeing, it's an integration of what has come before. And I 100% am with you of like, this is really big, this moment in time right now, especially for the entrepreneur or the, the person who services the freelancer or the agency that services the small business owner that's building these kind of platforms and looking for results. This is a unique moment. How can people connect with you, and where would you like to send the good people from the podcast?
Well, given that this is a little delayed, first of all, you can always reach me directly at help@wplaunchify.com. And wplaunchify.com, you can find out more. It's really obvious because I practice what I preach, but that being a high-end consultancy, all you can do there is learn a little bit about what marketing automation for WordPress is and why it can help you. And then you just say, yes, I want to talk to you. That's it. Because unless I talk to you and learn about your business, there's no point in trying to sell you a ready-made consultancy. However, by the time this comes out, we'll have the wpautomationlab.com website up. You could go there by the time, again, this comes out, it'll probably be live. That is going to be like 1WDTV used to be, which is a lot of free content going into great like daily detail. Bob wrote, I'm trying to connect ActiveCampaign to my blankety blank scheduling program on WordPress. How do I do it? So tons of free stuff. So if you're a tinkerer, I like to call you a lab rat, you're going to get great value. But we will have a course for sale there that's probably going to be really reasonably priced compared to what you'll get immediately out of it. And it will represent everything we do for you in our $2,500 consultancy, but just laid out in a course. So you could just go, like the Martha Stewart Cook at Home course. And you'll immediately get value because it'll pay for itself, whether it's for your business or you just go get a client with it. So if you are a WordPress ecosystem consultant or you're a CRM consultant, we hope you'll just join and participate, because by giving us more information about what you want to know, we can make videos and teach you. If you like our course, you can help us make that better as well as getting the benefit. And also, the free plug, because I worry for Jack, because I know this is like going to be a big blow up as soon as we get these gates open, is, the plugin that makes this all possible is WP Fusion. It's at wpfusion.com. It's incredible value. It's $247 for something that brings these tens of thousands of dollars of like, holy cow, right to you. So definitely go check out that plugin as well, because without that, really right now, none of this is possible. It's the key to all of it at the moment. So
that is awesome. And just want to confirm there with WP Fusion, we use it at LifterLMS. We use it associated with our WooCommerce store for selling software. We use it with our course sites for connecting courses to the CRM. Is a great tool. So,
and it connects, by the way, because you said it earlier, some people use the new features of Stripe. But, everybody knows what Stripe is. But Stripe has been, Patrick and his brother were really progressive. Now they do have the ability that you can sort of sell stuff directly without being a developer. You can connect that to most of the newer CRMs to add a tag and trigger the same automation. So again, I'd rather you do it in the ecosystem of WordPress WooCommerce. But if you already have something set up, you can absolutely just use, somebody bought on Stripe, it talks to your CRM gets a tag, that triggers the golden ticket, and you're off to the races. So super cool.
Yeah, and WP Fusion is flexible like that. Like you literally, oh, yep, I can do it that way. And that's the kind of thing that always happens when I'm trying to solve a problem.
Too many choices. Then that's why we're trying to teach people okay, just here's the Lego box we're going to use. Just follow this for now, and then when you're awesome, you go out and play for the rest of your days, because you'll never go to sleep at night or something.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much, Spencer. I really appreciate it, and we'll have to do this again sometime.
I would love it. I'd love to talk about this stuff all day long, 24 hours a day. So I appreciate it. Thanks, Chris.
And that's a wrap for this episode of LMScast. I'm your guide, Chris Badgett. I hope you enjoyed the show. This show was brought to you by LifterLMS, the #1 tool for creating, selling, and protecting engaging online courses to help you get more revenue, freedom, and impact in your life. Head on over to LifterLMS.com and get the best gear for your course creator journey. Let's build the most engaging, results-getting courses on the internet.